Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome back. Been a while.
Yes. Every other week. That keeps my sanity. We're talking about stupid stuff today. You know, some of the more professional podcast people, I've interrupted you like 4 times in the last like 2 seconds. The more professional podcasts, they'll have like a 30-minute lead up where they're streaming, but they have like a counter for 30 minutes. So people
Where they actually start getting into the topics. Yeah.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
People Snapchatting me on the podcast.
My phone went off too. I wonder if it's the same thing. No, it wasn't.
See, since no one's here, I can send rude texts to people. All right. So,
has it gone live? Let me see. There we go. Episode 5. We've been on episode 5 for about a week.
Wow. Oh my god, let me fix that one. I don't even know what's wrong with me anymore. I keep forgetting. Not grab bag. Last week was a grab bag. We're just talking about stupid stuff. Super villains. That's what we're talking about today. It's episode 10, not 5. No, it's 11.
Wow. So we've been like that for 6 weeks.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I have it set to 11. Does it say 11 or say 5? What does it say, Biggs?
Let me check. I was just tweeting it out. It says episode 10.
Okay, that's close enough. It's 11, but they won't remember. This can't be worse than last week. We were just on like Google Maps for like a half hour.
Fancy, you're gonna send me a Snapchat for my sub Sunday?
I thought about it.
Come on, did you see it?
No, I haven't actually watched your sub Sunday. I'm sorry.
Thanks a lot.
Man, I can't. People have been trying to take my Minecraft account like every day.
Oh yeah, I guess we can start off with that. Fancy got hacked.
Yeah, I got hacked like crazy.
Fancy got hacked. They came on the fan server. They like started destroying spawn. They put lava everywhere.
I wake up. I get texts like, "What are you doing? What have you done?" I'm like, what?
The thing is though, I like figured it must have been a little kid because they could have done a lot more damage if they had more knowledge, because you got a lot more permissions than what they actually did. They just placed lava. Like they could have actually like deleted the spawn world in it. It would have been no way for us to get it back.
You know what's interesting? I think remember when we were playing prison and our chests were gone?
Yes.
That must have been from the hacker.
Well, someone messaged me. Yeah, you're right. Someone messaged me saying, Fancy was on prison, and I don't think it was actually him.
That's strange. So they must have that's weird. They must have had it for like a week or something.
But also, I don't understand. How could they get in and you get in at the same time?
Because they didn't change the password.
But how did they get the password then?
I don't know. Phishing website. I don't know. You know, maybe I shouldn't use the same password for all of my stuff. I have changed it. Is that the password? Yeah.
Your biggest mistake with your Minecraft account is using the same email as your YouTube. See, my Minecraft account is not linked to my YouTube email.
I don't know what you're talking about, Biggs. Giving me personal information.
That was the biggest mistake. No, and I don't even know that you use that. I'm just guessing.
My goodness.
That's the biggest mistake, because before they changed Minecraft accounts to email addresses, where before it was just usernames, I used to get so many password requests reset. Yeah. I used to get so many of them. People like trying to hack into my account, like trying to get a password resent email kind of thing.
That's weird.
I used to get that all the time, but once it got changed over to email, I never get it because I use an email that no one knows.
I should look into that. The screen's gonna go black real quick. I'm gonna see if I can play Minecraft at the same time. Apparently not. Yeah, that didn't work. Oop.
Yeah, Kibitz and Captain Fangirl said, I saw Fancy's account playing on prison, and it wasn't fancy.
How do you know it wasn't me? Were they rude?
I think they were saying that it wasn't me. It said they was like saying fancy security is so bad and all stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's what they were saying apparently.
Someone sent me a screenshot of that. That was funny. It's so bad. Security is terrible. Gosh.
You gotta stop having that 1 2 3 4 password.
Yeah, of course. Guys, let me know if the audio is okay, because Big sounds a little bit like.
What do you mean? A lot of pops.
A little bit staticky.
Oh really? Is it me or is it you?
I wouldn't know. And let me know if I'm a little quiet. Fix everything.
Let me listen to it.
Yeah. That hacker's a real super villain. Ha 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 ha. Trying to play into our topic of the day.
Whoa, Fancy, you can hardly hear you.
What's that, Biggs?
I can hardly hear you on the stream. It sounds like you're using the wrong microphone.
I'm using the wrong microphone?
That's what it sounds like on the stream right now. Listen back to the stream.
Oh, no. Alright.
Did you hear that?
True? Is it louder? Oh, no.
Let me...
Here's what I'll do. I'm going to stop streaming and restart with the new settings. Real quick.
It sounds like I'm listening to you on a Skype call and I'm playing you through my microphone. That's what it sounds like.
No one told me.
I know. No one bothered.
It's ridiculous. Okay.
Was it a different mic? It sounded like it's using your laptop mic or something.
Yeah. How about, does this sound better? Yeah. Okay. Blue Icicle. Okay. We're live again. So sorry. So sorry. Man, them hackers messing with my microphone when I'm trying to...
Hacked your PC as well.
Yeah. I was wondering, because I had my gain all the way up, and it was still quiet.
Really? Is it okay now? I'm just trying to listen in the stream.
Yeah, it's okay, sure. I don't know. It should be fine.
Yeah, you're good. You're good now. You're good. Just listen to it back.
Yeah, Blue
all good.
Icicle.
All good.
So, just a quick question to the listeners. I want you guys to let us know what your favorite superhero movie is. And if you say Batman v Superman, I will know you're lying.
So, are you planning to see it?
No.
I think I'll still go and watch it. I do think I'll still go and watch it.
Here's the thing. I was going to go see it with my friend Mike. And then...
Shout out to Mike.
Yeah, shout out Mike. He's been on the podcast. He was with me and Elrius.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, close friend. We were going to go see it. And on Monday, the movie released on Friday. And on Monday, the early reviews came out. 46. I was like, what? That's lower than Man of Steel. Man of Steel had like a 60, I think. 50. And I'm like, I guess... I kind of felt that it wasn't going to be as good. Because Man of Steel had like a great premise. And kind of got silly towards the end. This one, kind of a shallow premise. Batman fighting Superman. So...
Now, there's a few things that screamed out to me that this movie weren't going to be that good. First off was they showed too many trailers.
Yep.
I had no idea why they kept showing too many trailers, but now it kind of makes sense because maybe in the back of their mind they knew the movie wasn't that great, so they were just trying to get the hype as much as possible.
Yeah, of course.
So, and the second reason is this director doesn't. Is it Zack Snyder? What is it?
Yeah, Zack Snyder. He did Watchmen, 300, Sucker Punch, which everyone hated. He did Man of Steel, of course.
But what is he? A director or producer?
Director.
He's not that good of a director. Like all of his movies are mediocre at best.
Yep.
So even with him, like you go look on his history on Rotten Tomatoes and look at every single movie he's ever done. I think the highest one he has is a 75%.
Yeah.
It's the highest one ever, and that was like his first movie.
Which one was it? Do you know specifically?
Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, he did Dawn of the Dead?
Yeah, he did Dawn of the Dead.
That's weird.
Yeah, and that was his best movie ever. Other than that, Watchmen was a weird weird movie.
I
it was
would
good in its, sort of, in its way, but it's weird.
I would argue. Well, Watchmen is based off of a comic book.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be strange and unusual because it's a commentary on the ridiculousness of superheroes.
Mm-hmm.
The main thing is that he missed the entire point, I would say.
I don't really like Zack Snyder's movies, and to be honest with you, I think they should not get him to do the whole DC universe. I think he'll ruin it.
No,
he'll ruin it. I really do.
Part of what makes Marvel Cinematic Universe so diverse is that you always have different directors.
Yeah.
And that keeps things fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the same person isn't directing the same thing. Who directed Iron Man?
But that's the thing, you don't know. And it seems like they were just like, oh, Zack Snyder. Like, everyone knew about Zack Snyder doing this movie, but with Marvel movies, you never know really who directs it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
But I feel like Marvel, right? They're more involved with their movies. They have a vision for what they want it to be, and it's like a strict, like, no, it has to be this way. But I feel like with DC, they give the director more creative kind of freedom,
which probably is a mistake.
Yeah, because they should know their comics more than the director. You know?
Yeah. If you think about Star Wars, Disney probably has a room of 12 people deciding everything that's going to happen in these Star Wars movies. Because, they bought Lucasfilms for $4 billion.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of have to get a return on investment. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, J.J. Abrams did a great job directing. I'm not so sure how much power he had or how much creative license he had in making that movie. And he's not directing Episode 8. It's a different director. I think it was a director that made Godzilla.
Okay.
Which I thought was
it's scary.
Yeah. I thought that Godzilla was kind of silly.
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
So that makes me nervous. However, how much power does he really have? I doubt it's much.
Yeah. I think Suicide Squad will be a big kind of... It'd be interesting to see how that goes. Because I know Zack Snyder had some input in it. I think he was like executive producer or something like that. I don't think he was the main one. But it'd be interesting to see how that is.
Yeah.
Compared to... Because that's a part of all this whole DC universe. Like, that is the second movie after Batman vs Superman in the whole universe spectrum kind of thing. But it'd be interesting to see how it plays out, if it's any good. Because I feel like there's a lot of hype behind this movie, but it'd be interesting to see.
I'm trying to figure out how to overlay this thing. Let me center it. Okay, great. Trying to... the order. There we go. Move down. There we go. So we got wonderful image of Batman.
So I feel like, as well with Batman, I feel like Christopher Nolan did such a good job.
Oh yeah,
it's hard to top it.
You cannot, because those weren't superhero movies. They were crime dramas. They were crime movies.
But that's what I mean. Like, it's hard because Batman and the Batman Dark Knight movies kind of set the tone for DC, where it's just like, this works. This dark kind of...
It made money.
Yeah, it worked, but that was their style. It was different to Marvel. Marvel had their style, and that set them apart, having these kind of dark Batman movies. But they did try to have that kind of dark kind of atmosphere with Superman, but Man of Steel, but I don't think that worked.
No. I liked half of Man of Steel. I really liked the first half. It was really good because it wasn't about punching things. And I think Man of Steel did good because it came right off of Superman Returns, which was very bland and uneventful. So I'm just going to talk about Man of Steel spoilers because I'm pretty sure most people have seen it. And it's really not that surprising. Superman becomes Superman and then blows up stuff. That's Man of Steel. Yeah. The first half, it shows his struggles because some people don't really resonate with Superman because he's kind of godlike, and that's hard to relate to. So they they really developed his character in the beginning, which I enjoyed. It did get kind of silly. Like, with Pa Kent in the tornado, that was kind of silly. I didn't really think that was a great execution on trying to give him a little bit more weight. But the second half itself is just punching buildings, and I really did not appreciate that part as much.
I think one of the things Man of Steel had going for it, it was the first Superman movie in a while.
Yeah.
As well. I think that's something a lot of people were very excited for. They haven't seen Superman in such a long time.
Exactly.
And even just the fact that it was just a more modern day Superman had that going for it as well, something a little bit different. But yeah, I don't think it fulfilled to its potential. But again, you can put that down to Zack Snyder. I just don't rate him as a director.
Like, I don't know. When I say that I enjoyed the first half, I enjoyed the parts where he wasn't blowing stuff up. And they really had more of a commentary on what it means to be an alien. And not just an alien from this earth, but just to be singled out and not be a part of, like, a deeper community.
Yeah.
And being alienated to people around you, even from your own parents. We sometimes feel that.
But I said this to you earlier today where we was talking about it a little bit. But I think what Man of Steel suffered with, again, I think a lot of superhero movies suffer with this, is the villain wasn't that great, I don't think.
Zod.
Yeah, I don't think it was a great villain. And I said this to you earlier today. I feel like a villain is just as important as the hero, in my opinion. The villain needs to be just as cool as the superhero.
Not even cool, just like have...
Well, I feel like a villain is a very weird character because I feel like a really good villain is a character that you're not meant to like, but you do a little bit.
I would say that a good villain is a hero from his perspective.
But it's like, the Joker in Dark Knight.
Oh, yeah, the Joker, though, yes.
But you're not meant to like him, but you do.
Because
you know what I mean? You like that character, even though you're not meant to. He's a villain. You do like him a little bit.
Because he's not I'm strictly talking about the Dark Knight. At this point, Heath Ledger's Joker. What made him incredible? Well, first, he's creepy as hell. He's not just bland. He's not just like Zod, who's angry, and he's not a bad guy by the definition of a bad guy. He's not like a one-dimensional. I'm a bad guy. I do this. I do that. He describes it in the movie as an agent of chaos. He's not killing for killing, but to, send a message.
Well, maybe that's it then. What you're saying is a villain needs more depth to them rather than I'm just a bad guy. I want to kill everything.
And it's not that he's opposed. His sole purpose isn't to be opposed to Batman. It's like, it's hard to put into words because it's such a complex character. I can only he's trying to take down the establishment in Gotham. Like he's almost the hero. If the villain is organized crime in Gotham, he kind of was taking that on.
But that's exactly what I'm saying. I just feel like a villain needs more character. A villain needs more character. A villain needs more depth, and it needs more to them just than I'm the bad guy.
Yeah,
I feel like if you get that makes a movie better. If you have the villain be the main character as well as the main character, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of superhero movies or shows miss that the villain is just a villain. They're just a villain that you could kill and throw away and move on to the next one.
Yeah. I would say, if you think back, you said, we were talking before we went live about Spider-Man 2 and Dr. Octopus. I enjoy that movie a lot because Dr. Octopus is not a guy who is just hell-bent on taking down Spider-Man. He kind of is, actually, because he created that, the super sun thing. He created infinite energy. He was trying to do good, and everything went wrong. And the thing is, it was his fault. he miscalculated whatever the experiment, and he killed his wife, and he's stuck with these arms, and his entire life is ruined. And he creates this false reality that it is Spider-Man whose fault it is. And he convinces himself of this fact. It's almost delusional.
Mm-hmm.
And then he realizes that it wasn't Spider-Man that killed his wife. It was him. And it was his fault, which is why he takes on the sun and then drowns it in the water, kills himself.
Yeah.
And what shows that is growth of a character. And
Yeah. But I still don't think they did enough to get you attached to that character.
It wasn't. No, it was, but it had more purpose, which is why I really enjoy Harry Osborn, and why I really dislike the Amazing Spider-Man's Harry Osborn.
He wasn't. He was meant to be the green. What's it called?
Green Goblin.
But he wasn't, was he? He was the Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin is that's Harry Osborn's character.
But there's two versions, isn't there? There's a Green Goblin. I think there's a Hobgoblin,
which is Norman Osborn, Green Goblin.
Yeah, yeah. Because a lot of people got confused with that movie. They thought he was the Green Goblin, but he wasn't.
No,
he was the Hobgoblin.
Well, they call him New Goblin. I think that was his name on the action figure, New Goblin. But and Spider-Man 3 as a movie, yeah. But they set up Harry Osborn's character over 3 movies.
Oh, so really?
That character, because not in Amazing Spider-Man 2, the first movie, Green Goblin, Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, Harry Osborn was in it, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. Spider-Man inadvertently, he doesn't kill Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn kills himself with his glider.
Mm-hmm.
But Harry Osborn has deep resentment for the idea of Spider-Man himself. And you see that little tension because Peter is his best friend, and he carries that rage with him in Spider-Man 2. And then you have that realization, where he finds out that Peter is Spider-Man, and then he has this deep conflict, like he's deeply conflicted, and he has those visions of his father in the mirror, slowly like pulling him towards that hatred. And it kind of like Kylo Ren style. I'm being torn apart. You know, that's I enjoy that. So in the third movie, you have that climactic, or maybe not so climactic, confrontation, and you can feel it's when they fight. I'm talking about. I'm eating M&Ms right now. Probably a mistake. Do you remember Spider-Man 3?
Not that much.
Well, not a great movie, but I enjoyed the scene where Spider-Man's wearing the black suit. He confronts Harry Osborn as Peter Parker, and they just have like a brutal fist fight, like throwing each other across the room, like beating the crap out of each other. It's great. And Spider-Man like throws a grenade in Harry Osborn's face, and I was shocked because it's like they both kind of like let that anger take over them in a way. And then it gets stupid because immediately after that scene, it is the scene where he's walking down the street pointing at people with jazz music.
I don't remember much.
You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember much of it. I'd have to rewatch them to because I haven't watched them movies in years. I don't know how you remember movies like that when you for so long. I don't remember them. I saw it like fairly recently. Oh really? Yeah, I need to rewatch them. I haven't watched it. I've watched it once. That was it.
Yeah, I like the original. It's the ones I grew up with. Spider-Man, the original trilogy.
Yeah, I did too. I watched all of them. I really liked them, but I've never rewatched them again.
Yeah,
I think that's why I can't remember them.
So then you have Amazing Spider-Man.
Uh-huh.
And I think we did agree that the villains in Amazing Spider-Man were not that great.
Yeah, I just feel like that's a trend though. It's a trend with most superhero movies. Like they don't develop the villain enough. They need to get you attached to the villain just as much as they need to get you attached to the hero. Like I feel like they need to kind of make you feel a little bit sorry for the villain, but then still at the same time not agree with what he's doing.
I think perception is a good thing with supervillains, because no one's born evil, if you know what I mean. Like if you go to if you even think about Hitler, he was very popular in Germany. He had some strong ideas, and oh my god, people are screaming. I'm streaming, bro. To himself, to people that followed him, he was the hero. He was the one that was going to save Germany through unjust causes, of course. Now, I think that's important, is to create realistic motivations that from a certain point of view seem right. Because a villain has to believe in what they're doing as the right thing. So Zod had an element of that, because all he was trying to do was to preserve his species on Earth. So, and the thing is that from Superman's point of view, he was a human, and he was protecting his kind. And that's what I liked Man of Steel for, that a little bit.
Well, I think a good example of a movie that didn't develop the villain that well was Age of Ultron.
Ooh, yeah.
Because I feel like Ultron was such a big character in the comics and stuff like that. It was so underplayed in the movie.
I haven't read the comics, so I don't have that point of view.
He's a huge character, Ultron. Huge. Huge villain in the comics and stuff. And I've not even read the comics, but you get a grasp for it if you just do a little bit of research. It's huge. Ultron is a huge character.
Ultron's motivations. Mad ovations.
Ultron's motivation, he was created to better mankind. But his AI said to himself, the only way I can better mankind is to kill the current mankind, because they are the reason mankind is bad at the moment.
Yeah, humanity destroys itself.
Yeah, so he took it upon himself, because that's what I'm saying. His motivations were ultimately for good, because he wanted the world to be a better place, and he said it can't be a better place with you guys still here.
Yeah. I feel like they underplayed that. Yeah. I mean, I could talk about I didn't like my issues were a bit more petty. I feel like they switch his tone, so they Marvelized Ultron. Marvel Studioized was what I say. Because he was so serious. He said some creepy stuff. Like the first time you see him, I'm trying golden strings. All that stuff. He sounded so menacing, and then he's joking in the next scene. Like what? Where did you get a sense of humor? They switched him. It's like, gotta have a funky joke right now. This is where a joke comes out, because everyone likes jokes in their Marvel movies coming from the villain.
That was because of Guardians of the Galaxy. There's always going to be jokes in Marvel movies.
But okay, and it was I felt like it wasn't appropriate at the time for Ultron. I mean, it caught me so off guard that, and I guess, and they played it wrong. Because they should have almost made him more naive if they really wanted to play off that kind of joking, kiddish manner. Because he's only existed for 4 hours. So with that advanced AI,
and I feel like in the movie as well, he wasn't even in it that long. It was a bit. It just felt like when it began, it was over pretty much.
Yeah, I would say that he came out so serious and so full of his intentions. He knew what he wanted. Then he starts joking. I like though he gets angry. He feels that anger, that emotion, and that makes him weaker. And I guess they're trying to play that. And he's making jokes. He gets excited. He gets angry, passionate. He gets angry at the sound of Tony Stark's name.
Yeah.
He throws a little tantrum. Don't say his name or whatever. I like that, but
arguably, what I was saying about Ultron, it's Ultron and Thanos are the two biggest Marvel villains.
And they turn Ultron into a side character.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I just feel like it's a bit kind of I feel like their ultimate plan was to do like the final battle with Thanos and stuff like that. That's because that's where obviously the Avengers movie is gonna finish.
Man, I do not care about Thanos whatsoever.
Yeah, but that's where it's gonna finish. Obviously with the gemstones and all that stuff.
Hmm.
But I feel like they kind of thought to themselves, "Oh, damn, we forgot to do an Ultron. Ultron, we need to put Ultron in somewhere in the movie," and they just kind of fit it in. Because to me, the Age of Ultron movie was all about Vision. That's all it was about. It was introducing Vision to the Avengers because he's one of the stones that Thanos is after. That's that's all the Age of Ultron movie was about to me.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah, and these expanded universes really like because they're always trying to build off more movies from this movie. I feel Age of Ultron did a good job. Only like they dedicated maybe like 3 minutes into setting up Civil War, where you have that tension between Tony Stark and Captain America. They have differing motives, and you see that in the scene where they're chopping wood, and Tony Stark says something along like we could prevent, like he was trying to make Ultron to prevent these wars, but what did he say? I don't remember what he said.
What was your opinion on the Spider-Man in the trailer for
He's
Civil
got
War?
really squinty eyes.
Did you like it though?
It's growing on me because it resembles more of the 1960s Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they really wanted to go all out, they just put webs in his armpits and it'd be exactly the old Marvel Spider-Man. Oh my goodness.
I think that movie's going to be good though. I really do.
Yeah,
I feel
of
like
course it's going to be good.
That's going to be better than Batman vs Superman.
No, by a long shot. If we go on Rotten Tomatoes right now. Actually, I'll do it over here. If you look up the Marvel Cinematic Universe, none of the movies have a lower rating than like a 66, which is Thor. Thor is the lowest rating. Iron Man 1 had a 94. These are all good movies.
Yeah.
Let me just look up Iron Man. Even Iron Man 3, which I really did not like that much, has like a 79. Ooh, let me click this. They're all like, I have no doubt in my mind that Civil War will be a great movie. I also heard like someone made a mention that they have not even revealed who the bad guy is in Civil War, who the opposition is.
I heard that it's
No spoilers.
Crossbones.
No spoilers. I don't know.
No, but I don't think that's a spoiler. They fight. I think Captain America fights some guy called Crossbones at the start, and then there isn't a villain. Pretty much, it's just them fighting each other.
Maybe we'll see after how it plays out. But if we look at this, Ant-Man has an 80, Avengers of Age of Ultron 75. They have the TV shows, Guardians of the Galaxy 91, Winter Soldier 89, Thor: The Dark World 67. That might be the lowest one. 67 is also for the Incredible Hulk. Yeah, so they're all like.
Yeah, Hulk's old though, isn't it? It's not.
2008. They kind of retconned it.
It's not even the same Hulk though, is it? It's different.
Edward Norton.
Yeah.
They chose him because he was a more popular actor, but then they just kind of went with Mark Ruffalo. You know what I found though? Like, I always say like I wish superhero movies had more stakes in them. And then I had an epiphany. I could just watch any other movie and they have no obligation to let their protagonist live or die past this one movie. So,
you know what I think is going to happen in Civil War though? What I think is going to be the big twist.
What?
I think Captain America's going to die.
Ooh, that's pretty bold.
That's what I think is going to happen, because the thing is with me, right? I'm not a big comic book like fan. I've never owned a comic book in my life, but when I get into these movies, I do a load of research on it. I want to know like the origin of the story and stuff like that. Like I always do it. Like the TV shows like The Flash and Daredevil and stuff like that. I read up a lot about it after I get into the show. And in Civil War in the comics, Captain America dies. He dies in the comics. And I heard about that actor who plays Captain America said he apparently he's not going to be doing much more movies, superhero movies. He wants to move on to other things. He says.
Ooh,
So
Chris Evans.
I think that'd be a good thing to do. I think
I think yeah.
Captain America dies. I think that'd be a good thing to do. But then if he died, no, because there has been other Captain Americas. So I was going to say if he dies, they can't do any more Captain America movies. But there has been other Captain Americas other than the main.
Isn't Bucky? Doesn't he become Captain America?
Yeah, I think he does. And there's a black Captain America as well. Someone, I can't remember who it is. There's a few.
Right now, Thor is a woman in the comic books.
Yeah, exactly. I think that does happen as well. Apparently, Marvel are planning to do that to change Thor into a woman.
I mean, the cinematic universe has always been different from the comics, considering Age of Ultron lasted 2 hours and not like several, not an entire saga. Like comic books almost make more sense as TV shows, which is why we're seeing them like transition. Because
I love any kind of superhero TV show at the moment. I love them.
Yeah,
really love them. I'm watching Daredevil at the moment, season 2. So good, so good.
I haven't watched any. Are they connected?
What do you mean?
Like the Marvel TV shows?
Yeah, they're starting to do it. Marvel. There's not many Marvel TV kind of shows. There's only Jessica Jones and Daredevil. But yeah, they're in their own little universe.
Oh, Flash is DC. I'm silly. Flash and Arrow.
Flash, Arrow, DC Legends of Tomorrow. They're all in their own universe. They cross over everything.
That's crazy.
Like Flash goes into Arrow. It's like their own little mini universe.
That's interesting.
And stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Arrow was really good when I first started watching it. I feel like the first 3 seasons of Arrow were really, really good. Season 2 being the best. I just liked Arrow because it was a different twist to it. It wasn't so much of a superhero show. It was more. It had a different twist. It's like he would kill people. Arrow would kill people.
Whoa.
That wasn't a superhero, you know. But they developed the story of him, why he killed people, and why he chose to kill people, and I like that aspect of it. It was different.
I feel like
Go on.
I feel like every superhero is hard on with, you can't kill people. I feel like that's kind of silly.
Yeah, it doesn't last though. He doesn't kill people for like we're all on season 4 now. He doesn't kill people all the way to season 4. In the first couple of seasons, he kills people.
Yeah.
Flash season 1 was good. I preferred Arrow at that time. I felt like Flash was a bit too light-hearted at the start. It was a bit more Marvel-y. It was a bit more Marvel-y at the start. But it finished. Season 1 finished really well, and season 2 is just awesome. Like the villain in season 2, Zoom, is just amazing. Like I think that he makes the season.
And I guess it ties.
If you watch the movies, you should get into it.
Yeah, I have been meaning to. I haven't had time. Now I do have a load of time since I dropped one of my college classes.
Thing with Flash and Arrow, they're long seasons. I think it's like 23 episodes a season.
Dang, are they like hour longs?
40 minutes.
40 minutes, okay.
If you want to get into like a shorter season, Daredevil's a good one because it's only 13 episodes.
No, I don't watch TV shows until like they're finished because the last thing I want to do is catch up.
Well, Daredevil's only on Netflix.
Oh.
So you've got both season 1 and 2. They all release at the same time. Every single episode.
Ooh. Wait, they release them all just in one?
Yeah, when Daredevil... Because Daredevil season 2 came out like 2 weeks ago at midnight on a certain day, and they released the whole season.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so season 1 and 2 is on Netflix at the moment. I've got one more episode to go, and I've finished season 2.
That's interesting. With that, the way they do that, is there less filler episodes because you can just skip them?
Season 2, yes. There's like hardly any filler episodes in season 2 of Daredevil. Like it's just action from start to finish. Season 1, I felt like season 1 of Daredevil was a bit slower than season 2 because I felt like they did a lot of origin story.
Yeah.
They wanted to tell you why he is the way he is and stuff like that. And season 1 of Daredevil was still really, really good, but there was a few filler episodes. I feel like you do get a lot of filler episodes with Flash and Arrow though. because it's such a long season.
Yeah, I can see that. Do Flash and Arrow just release them all at once as well?
No, Flash and Arrow's on. It's on
Oh,
CW network, so it's once a week.
that's interesting because like if you have a filler episode, you have no obligation to watch it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's almost like they can't have filler episodes on Netflix,
Mm-hmm.
and that
Yeah.
kind of raises the quality of the entire season in general.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Season 2 of Daredevil though is really, really good. Really good. I would definitely recommend watching that to anybody. Really good.
It's interesting because Age of Ultron is supposed to be like a drawn out thing. It's an Age of Ultron, not.
Oh, you doing the research on it now?
No, I'm just looking at Rotten Tomatoes, but like as a TV show, it almost worked better because it creates a different. It's like a. How do
I
I
think
say?
Marvel are doing. They've done Daredevil. They've done Jessica Jones. I think they have 2 more characters to do. They're going to do a Luke Cage, which is
Yeah, I've known.
yeah. They're going to do his. He's getting his own TV show, and they're going to do Iron Fist. They're the ones getting their own TV shows.
I've never
in
heard
the
of Iron Fist.
in the Marvel ones.
You know, it's kind of similar to way I don't even know if I've said this on. Have I talked about X-Men, the way they do movies?
No, a little bit. I think we've talked about Days of Future Past a little bit, but that's about it.
Yeah, because how that's supposed to be an entire saga as well, and they just put it in
Yeah.
one movie.
Yeah.
I always go back to that. I mean, that's kind of why I like the X-Men movies. I like them a lot better than, like, I couldn't really care. I might see Civil War, but I really want to see the new X-Men. I just enjoy X-Men more.
I think a lot of people really like X-Men. I don't know.
It just got good.
Yeah, I feel like Sony though kind of makes it feel.
It was Fox.
Yeah, a Fox. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it could be better. But I do like X-Men. I like X-Men. I remember when I was a kid, I always watched X-Men more than I watched anything else.
Yeah.
X-Men was like Wolverine was probably my favorite superhero growing up.
Just Hugh Jackman has a great presence as Wolverine. He's carried the entire, like every movie.
I remember when I was a kid, I had this toy helicopter. I broke off the blade just so I could stick them to my hand and pretend I was Wolverine.
You used to do that with pencils. Yeah. Man, okay. Trying to get like a list. I want the movies and their basically franchises. X-Men. Yeah. So if I like X-Men, but it's really like, it's just Days of Future Past, and then this new movie. Like if you think back, it was First Class was okay, but then you go even farther back. You have the Wolverine, that was okay. It's really just Future Past. It's set like this huge bar for X-Men.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do after this next movie because technically this is meant to be the end.
Yeah.
Like Apocalypse that's it. That's their biggest villain.
There's a comic book series called Old Man Logan. And it shows, I don't know if they're able to do it. It's just like Wolverine as like an old dude after everything's happened.
Oh, wow.
Still alive, like a century later or whatever.
I feel like something at the end of the new X-Men movie is going to happen and it's going to... Because didn't they do it in... They did it in one of the recent X-Men's where they went kind of back in time kind of thing.
No, that was Days of Future Past.
Yeah, I feel like something like that is going to happen in this movie at the end, so it gives them the option to like redo stuff.
Well, Bryan Singer has said that the fact that they've completely retconned the original X-Men trilogy through time travel, they're like, we can do anything. We're not bound by our legacy. We can choose to write whatever we want with Apocalypse, with the next ones. And oh yeah, and then Deadpool was excellent.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of movies now, they're all open to the whole universe thing, you know, the cinematic universe. And I feel like with Deadpool and X-Men, I feel like it's going to open up a lot more doors.
I enjoyed Deadpool though because it wasn't bound to any universe really at all.
Yeah,
and that's what made it
still kind of did because it had X-Men in it.
But like it's not. But it used it, but not in a way like, oh, we gotta set up Deadpool 2. There's still an untied loose end. It was all concise, all one package.
Yeah, true.
like every Marvel movie now, it's like, oh, there's Thanos again. Oh, look at him. He's still there being creepy.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't resolve. But I think that's why I enjoy X-Men movies, because they all resolve in each movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The Wolverine, I kind of liked Wolverine.
I didn't.
I
think I
kind
watched
of.
that movie. I can't remember. I think that was one of them movies, right? That I saw once. It was just I was flicking through the channels on TV, and it was just on. It was one of them movies that I just kind of saw it, watched a little bit of it. I didn't watch it all. I think I watched the last. There's been a couple Wolverine movies, hasn't there?
Well, there's X-Men Origins, and then just the Wolverine where he goes to Japan.
That's the one I watched in the cinema. Yeah, I remember that one.
I kind of liked it, and I think that's kind of the general consensus on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was good though. It was kind of gross.
Well, what are they gonna do without Hugh Jackman? Like, I can't imagine another Wolverine.
He's so like he's only got more. he's literally Hugh Jackman. Like if you go watch X-Men 1, he's like all flabby, it's gross. He literally is Wolverine, and that's kind of a problem. Because these guys get old.
Yeah.
They get old. They can't play young roles.
You don't see anyone else being Wolverine, do you?
Mm-mm.
There was rumors that guy, that Superman, Man of Steel, he was going to be apparently like the replacement for Wolverine. There was rumors.
He's kind of a pretty boy,
Mm.
but I could see it because he's just got. I mean,
Wasn't there a scene in Man of Steel where he had like a beard and stuff?
Yeah, he looked good. I could see it, but the problem is that we've been used to Hugh Jackman for like 16 years, so it's gonna be hard to take that out of your brain.
Yeah.
It's not like James Bond. Like yeah, it is like James Bond right here. You know, you switch the actors and it's not weird, but I think if they recast everyone young with Days of Future Past, so you don't have to deal with like 45-year-old superheroes running around. That was a great thing just for the entire like universe in general. Getting First Class,
But I think they executed that movie so well. I think that added to the fact that because I think everyone was a bit skeptical about them recasting the characters, like, oh, what's gonna happen? But the movie was so good, it kind of just you didn't even think about it.
Mm-hmm. I like Michael Fassbender is Magneto. Like it's almost like he was so
I
perfect.
think he's better than the original.
Yeah,
Like the one that was in the original. He's better than the original.
Mm-hmm. They did such a good job. Like Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique, it's still kind of weird. I don't know.
I don't like her character.
She looks like she's just got paint on. She doesn't look like.
I don't know what they're trying to do with their character because I always thought Mystique was meant to be evil.
Yeah, I mean, and then we get back to the fact that a supervillain is just someone who believes they are right, but through a means.
Like I get what they were trying to do, like in the first one, like build her character, show that she wasn't the. But it's like, when is she gonna make that switch?
I think she kind of did in Days of Future Past.
Okay.
She was trying to kill like the person that like Trask.
Oh yeah, she wanted to kill him.
She wanted like yeah.
Yeah.
And well, they just sided because the Earth was gonna become all robot like, and that was no good. But I don't know. But like they all have different perceptions. Like Last Stand, it was the commentary was whether or not to accept yourself as like because there was a cure to cure yourself of your mutant gene, and the idea was whether or not you needed it was a cure. Like, are you really curing yourself by removing who you are? But the movie was just stupid. So it wasn't necessarily like good or bad. It was just they're people who have strong beliefs in one side or another. They act on it. That's what makes a good villain.
You remember that one X-Men movie where they were chasing after that kid that was like he was bald, he had a bald head, but he was like the most powerful mutant or something like that.
I think he that was Last Stand. And his power was he took mutants' powers away.
Yeah, but they never really touched on that ever, did they?
I think that's how they came up with the cure to remove the powers is through him. See, that movie is so forgettable. It's X-Men 3, you don't need it. I think X-Men Origins Wolverine was the worst rated one. Probably why they didn't do any more origin movies.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, I remember that movie now. That was the movie that had the weird Deadpool in it.
Yeah, not Deadpool.
Yeah, it was like, what the heck is this?
Yeah, it's kind of. I didn't mind it because I enjoyed them.
Was it like weird mutated one with holes coming out his hands?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was weird.
as Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. Because weren't Ryan Reynolds in the movie earlier on?
He was, and
then, as normal Ryan Reynolds, but then
they called him Deadpool too. He was called Deadpool. Kind of interesting. They I liked how they touched upon that.
Yeah, in the actual Deadpool. Yeah, true.
That was great. I liked how they visited how he got his adamantium skeleton, but the rest of the movie was just kind of like, yeah, it was not good.
So many. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's so many British actors now playing like American roles.
They're taking our jobs.
So many though, it's unreal. Like even to the point that I'm shocked when I find out that person's British.
Yeah. You mean Henry Cavill? I can't do a British accent, but like
that's Superman, right?
Yep, he's British. He's like super British.
Yeah, you've got the guy who plays Daredevil is British. The Rick in Walking Dead is British. Hugh Jackman's Australian. Yeah, there's so many of them. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's strange when you hear them.
Yeah, when you hear them in interviews, right? It's
what?
So strange.
What? How? I don't even know. Like not even a hint.
Yeah.
Maybe is it easy to just subdue your act? Can you talk?
I can't do an American accent.
You can't?
No.
I think I can't even quantify it. Like when you say a, like soft a, is it can't. I can't do it.
It's hard to do it for me because I've got an accent in England.
Yeah.
Like I'm not. England has a lot of accents, to be honest.
You know, I can never.
Country, we have a lot of accents.
I can never place what your accent is actually.
It's
southeast. Because it's not like traditional British accent.
No, because a lot of people where I live sound different to me. Like they've got a thicker accent than I do. Because my cousin's accent is different to mine.
Yeah.
You know, he talks more like the people talk where I live.
Yeah, I can see that.
But yeah, there's a lot of accents in England, a lot, considering like the country's tiny.
Yeah. Just different cultures. I don't know. I mean, is American just the lack of an accent, or is it an accent in itself? I can never tell.
Oh yeah, Americans definitely have accents. Like as I'm not American, I can hear it. I can hear it. I like put it this way. I can tell that some like you are from a different part of America than let's say like Minecraft Builder, for example.
Yeah.
I can definitely tell that. I wouldn't be able to tell you what part of America you're from, but I could definitely tell you're from two different parts.
Yeah. I don't know. Super villains.
You should definitely pick a TV show to watch, a superhero TV show, and then report back to us in the podcast.
Yeah, more homework, great.
Yeah. I think have a go with Daredevil because especially if you can get onto season 2 because season 2 is quite interesting because it's got the Punisher in it, and the Punisher's an interesting character because he's like an anti-villain kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he's pretty good, and I really like the way they've developed him in this show this year. It's really good. So
I'll have a go at it.
If you can get onto it, you got to stick through season 1 though. Season 1 can be a bit. People loved it, but I just thought in parts it was a bit. It
has a 98% right now, but season 2 has a 72.
Season 2 has 72%.
Yep.
No way.
Yeah.
I really liked season 2. Maybe people didn't like.
Well, 95% liked it. Critics reviews, 8 rotten.
I'm surprised about that. Really surprised. I really liked season 2. Watch season 1 then.
Yeah, I'll give it a try. I have some other topics, but it's not going to flow well. Like, Sony announcing their PS 4.5 for VR.
There you go. You just did it.
What that means for consoles as a whole. I mean,
You just did it.
Yeah. Okay. We'll just talk about that. There we go. Switching topics for a short time. It's almost at the hour. We might, I don't know, depending on how angry Zai is at this moment. But consoles have been going away as time has progressed, considering PC just gives you more control over everything. I primarily use consoles because I'm a peasant. I don't care. I don't care what people think. But I don't the issue is that people, if you got a lot of money, you could just go buy a better PC. You don't have to wait for, the next generation to catch up with you. And right now, the PS4 and the Xbox One, compared to what you can purchase in parts, is no surprise. They aren't very powerful. So Sony's now releasing a faster, more powerful PS4. But what does that really mean for the console market? Because the idea of a console is that you buy a system, it lasts for 5 years at the minimum, and you'll be able to play those games. And depending on how they go with it, it can mean a lot of different things. I'm not too worried, because the new 3DS, there's at least one game, Xenoblade Chronicles, that you can't play on the old 3DS, and it makes me mad. But I'm not like distraught, because one, it's a port. I could just buy the Wii version. Two, it's only one game. It's not like I've been gypped. But I did buy my 3DS maybe like 2 weeks to a month before they announced that they were making the new 3DS. That made me mad. And I can imagine certain people, they buy a console for $400 and there's a new one coming out. Just kidding. And
It's weird to me how all of these companies are just putting all their attention into VR. It's like they think it's going to be the next big thing.
Well, you could argue it's a superior experience. So rather than a two-dimensional viewing plane, you have 360 and stereoscopic 3D. So it's more interactivity. Now, I don't want to be the guy that's like, oh, VR is never going to take off, and then I'm like, oh yeah, fancy. By the way, it totally did, and you're dumb. It's cool. It's really cool.
It is cool. Yeah, I do get that. Like, the only type of games, and this is just my personal preference, the only type of games that excite me with VR is racing games. Like, I feel like if I had a VR and I had a wheel and a seat and I was racing in like my F1 car, that for me is fully immersive. That's the type of games that excite me with VR. But other games where I'm just like, they're playing with a paintbrush or something like that, it don't excite me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Project Cars has VR support.
Yeah, I saw it. I saw a video on it, and like that excited me for VR. That made me want to get a virtual reality headset. Like watching that.
We can all point to the Wii, where that was successful, but no one really stuck with it. It allowed more interactivity, but it wasn't really game changing.
It's because I don't think you can get as immersive as you can with something like a racing game. Like, you're in a seat, pressing pedals and steering a wheel. That is driving a car. But if you've got virtual reality on and you're playing Call of Duty, it's not exactly like you can run around the room with a gun.
One thing is that it's how immersed you are and connected with the medium that you're viewing. With a car, with my stupid wheel and gearbox, actual hardware, I put on some gloves, put a fan in front of my face, put a VR, I am immersed. But when you play a shooter game, the connectivity's not there. You're not feeling what it really, like, if you want to make shooting, if you wanted to make shooting more interactive, more immersive, it would be almost different than a VR headset. You would have...
Well, I did read something once, right? There was this company apparently developing a vest that it was, let's say you play Call of Duty and you get a shot in the body, you feel it, like you feel a vibration on what part of the body you got shot on and stuff and things like that. But the thing that, and this is coming from someone who's never played like Oculus or anything, I've never tried it out, so I might be totally wrong when I say this. But the thing that kind of I can't get my head around is that, yeah, the headset is good in that, but when you're playing, you've got a controller in your hand. And I feel like that just takes away from,
Yeah.
yeah, you can see everything. You're moving your head left and right, but then to walk, you're moving your thumbs. I just find that a bit strange.
So that's why only certain games work well with it. I think another issue is that it's non-social. You could argue that we aren't very social sitting at our desks and playing stupid games by ourselves. But like if anyone wanted to come in your room and see what you're doing, it's like, oh, he's jacked into the Matrix.
Yeah.
You can't share those experiences. But yeah, you can argue that we don't share our experiences anyway. So maybe that might not be as important.
You know, honestly, I look forward to the day where I can do VR in a racing seat and stuff like that. I think that would be amazing.
I mean, you probably it's just expensive right now. PlayStation VR is $400, and you can I'm pretty sure either Assetto Corsa or Project Cars will have that support if you have a PlayStation wheel, which usually you do if you buy a wheel anyway. I have an Xbox wheel, unfortunately, but then yeah, that might be the cheapest one. But like, let's just say VR headset, you buy the best one right now, $50. How does it improve your experience? You have that 360 view.
Like, I don't know. I feel like at the moment, and this is maybe, like I said, I'm someone who hasn't tried it. So if someone who's tried it and they say I'm wrong, I totally accept your opinion. But I just feel like at the moment, it's more of a novelty. Like, oh, this is really cool. That's it.
Yeah.
It's not a game changer just yet. It might be in a couple of years' time when the development for the games gets better because it's actually out to like the mass markets. But at the moment, I personally feel like it's just like, oh, this is cool. That's it.
One thing that's interesting is that VR is mainly for first-person viewing experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Like you plant yourself into a character. You are the character. But third-person gaming is very popular for certain reasons. Like it just is more practical. Like if you play any action-adventure game like Tomb Raider, it's third-person. Can't really parkour.
Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto. But like, yeah, the first person though in Grand Theft Auto, I would argue is phenomenal. But that's just because it's a good game. But like, it's not like
I don't like the first person in Grand Theft Auto.
Really.
No, I don't like it.
People always talk about how uncomfortable they feel when they run people over in first person view.
I don't know. I don't like the movement. I feel like I'm restricted. I can't see. It's weird. I don't like it.
Maybe you need a VR headset.
Yeah, maybe.
Another thing is that it's interactive, and as we've seen, people are lazy and they like to kick back and relax, and it requires a bit of focus from you when you use a VR headset. That maybe it's just not something that everyone wants to do. Get interactive with their game. They just want to relax with a beer and play a few rounds of Call of Duty. As we've seen, Call of Duty is very popular considering its casual competitiveness. Is mainly the main focus. So yeah. I think very specific experiences are going to be what, and another thing is that we're gauging this off of like, imagine going from 2D to 3D, the Super Nintendo to N64. It's like, why would you play like Super Mario Bros. Like in 2D? Like it wouldn't work. 2D and 3D, like what's that? It's useless.
Yeah.
But what came out of it are completely different experiences that we never thought of. The games are different. Of course, there are no side scrollers in 3D because there are now. But what works best is 3D environments with a camera that you can control. Things that we wouldn't have thought about. You wouldn't control your camera in a 2D plane. It's just something that you didn't do. Now, the extra interactivity will lend itself to experiences that are different from what are most popular right now if VR takes off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I do maybe in 2 years' time, like development will be different because it's so mainstream and stuff like that, and games will be like made specifically for VR. But at the moment, I just feel like it's just a bit of a novelty.
It is. It always, everything will be like the smartwatch. That's not going to take off until it's cheap first, and it has more functionality. I have no doubt that smartwatch. Like, I want a smartwatch. I'm not gonna buy one. It's $300. It would be stupid for me to buy a smartwatch right now.
Yeah.
But there's no doubt that there will be a day when you can buy a watch for like $50. Works as well as your note, your phone, whatever. Like, I don't know. It's I don't know. I'm having a stroke. One thing that someone made a mention is that VR is great for things that aren't just games. You don't have to play a game to experience VR. One of the coolest things I've done with my Google Cardboard is take a video, like a YouTube video, and what it does is it simulates the field of view you get from watching a movie in a movie theater. I deeply enjoy that because it simulates the screen being like 3 stories tall.
Okay.
That's
So, like,
cool.
The 360 video thing on YouTube, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah. YouTube has a built-in cardboard thing where it just puts you in a like floating in a black room with a giant screen. It simulates that.
Yeah, have you seen the new 360 videos on YouTube?
I saw the Snoop Dogg videos, and they're great. You turn your head, there's Snoop Dogg. You turn around, there's the screen in front of you. Oh yeah, and then you also have the ones where you can, as a 360 camera, you look around.
Yeah. They work with headsets. Like, you can look around. And
They work great, and that gives you an experience you couldn't get with your monitor. One thing is that we're limiting VR to gaming, and it has so much more potential in other mediums as well, not just specifically gaming. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
3D technology didn't really take off in the home, but every IMAX movie is in 3D. You know, you could say 3D was a failure, and yet, like, I'll go see any movie in 3D at the movie theater.
Yeah,
It's something that we didn't like. I mean, there's always been that, but I anticipate arcades having VR technology, incorporating that. Huge popular thing right now is escape rooms. You ever heard of those?
like in real life escape rooms.
Yeah, real life escape rooms.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Having VR built into that would be incredible.
But why when you're there?
Well, you can have more interactivity than you normally could. Like, if you have, imagine Haunted Mansion, you could have ghosts. Oh, ooh, spooky. You know, it just lends it, like, you could do more with it. I don't want to watch out. I don't want to watch that. I don't know. We can't possibly know. Oop, don't want to show my Skype. Yeah. In conclusion, I have no idea what VR is going to do to the industry.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of companies are jumping on it, like, and they seem confident. They seem confident that this is going to be the thing. Like, even like Steam are like really pushing it as well. But I do know they have their own headset coming out, so that makes sense. PlayStation are pushing it. The only company who's not really pushing it is Microsoft.
HoloLens.
Oh yeah, true.
That's
Yeah.
augmented reality, though.
Yeah.
It's different. Well, they're doing it because it has the potential to make enough money. Like, if you can trick people into thinking they want a Wii, they'll buy it, and they did. It's all about the money.
Yeah.
If people will buy it, then it'll be made.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's better experience is subjective, but
Is it going to end up like Kinect and the one PlayStation had?
the problem is that Kinect and PlayStation Move were really bad. They were terrible.
Yeah, but they did try and market it as that this is the future. They did, and they made it seem cool in like promos and stuff. It was basically virtual reality without the headset. That's what it was.
The thing I'm seeing, and why I feel it's going to be a bit more novelty until they get creative with it, is the experiences you have are not really any different from what you can get on TV, except that they're a little bit better, I guess. You could say more immersive. But the games you're going to be playing, aside from racing games that are, like, you need $1,000 for a wheel, $500 for a headset, and a $1,500 PC to run, very niche market.
Yeah.
The games you see are all like mini games, little art installations, little 20-minute things.
Yeah.
There's nothing that like you want to spend hours in. You have Elite Dangerous, but all it does is it allows you to move your head around.
I do want that though. I do want the racing stuff. It's too
Yeah.
much money, but I just feel like that'd be such a great experience.
Yeah. I mean, start with the wheel. The wheel, I would say the wheel is more interactive and immersive than the VR headset.
You think so?
Yes, 100%. Because, like, regardless, I will not drive a car with a little, like, nipple thumbstick. It's not, like, real. If you can feel it, it's there. That's why, like Elite Dangerous, everyone gets a flight stick. The VR headset is secondary to actually interacting. So, I don't know. No one talks about the rise of specialized niche peripherals, I guess, because, I don't know. Wheels weren't really that popular, but now...
Wheels have been around forever.
They've been around, but they got good. They're really good.
Yeah, I remember I had a wheel when I was like friggin' 12. For like my PlayStation 1.
Yeah, it didn't vibrate. It didn't, no force feedback.
No, it just turned.
Yeah. So, see, that's the thing. Like, I had one as well. Just a little rubber band. It pulls you in one direction or the other. And now I have this thing simulating, like, realistic car physics. All metal chassis. Like, that's more immersive.
Is it a seat that comes with it and everything?
No, I just use my office chair. You can buy a seat. You can buy, like, the sim racing setups get crazy.
Yeah, I know. I've seen them.
Stupidly high end. Let me see if I can show some.
Whoa.
Nope, it didn't work. I'm gonna have to like add window capture.
I'm gonna have to go in a little bit, fancy.
Yeah, I'll show you just high end sim racing.
They're the ones with like the free monitors and stuff, right?
Yeah. One thing is that even with Oculus Rift, that would improve a sim racing setup in a meaningful way because you need peripheral vision to race.
Yeah.
It's difficult to race through a tiny window, which is why people buy triple monitors. So that would work well with an Oculus Rift. But like,
yeah,
other things really like, it's only marginal increase in immersion. Let me see if I can get like high-end racing setup. Yeah, can you see this?
Yep. It's just loading up now.
Let me see. Yeah, people. This is an all-in-one setup. Oh, this one has motion.
Well, like the car moves.
Yeah, it's got little hydraulic pistons. It'll shake your seat and move it left and right.
Have you ever been like racing, like go-karting and stuff, like on actual go-karts, like real go-karts, not go-karts you get at fun fair?
I went to some dink. They're not like the racing go-karts. I've been in some it's a glorified lawnmower. It had a track. It wasn't a little bar in the middle keeping you from going. I was actually racing with people.
Considering how much you like these type of games and your wheel and stuff like that, real go-karting is really good. I recommend you try it out one time.
I want to. There's one in Boston, but you gotta drive like 30 minutes.
It's really good. Like I've been a couple of times, and it's one of them things you can get addicted to. Like by far, especially like when it's a session and you don't know your fastest time until you finish the session, and you just want to get top of the leaderboard and stuff. Like you find yourself like pushing yourself and stuff. It's really good. It's really good.
I think the main thing is that it's pretty expensive.
Oh yeah, it's not that expensive where I live.
I saw one that was like $100 for a day, or like a couple bucks per lap.
Oh no, we do 20-minute sessions on the track, so you get 20 minutes.
How much is that?
I can't remember. Let me have a quick look. You know what? It's probably a bit more expensive than what I remember.
I'm just showing like the wheel I usually use. It's this one right now. Ooh.
Right.
I use right now a folding stand.
Oh really?
Yeah, because my room can't really fit a full car. There's something like that.
Hold on, my browser like crashed. Give me a sec.
Ooh. Do 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 do. Yeah, you can get the full setups though.
Oh yeah, I see it. I see it.
That's the most convenient I've seen. It's the best of both worlds. But like, you get these full cockpits. Either you build it or you buy it. Oh, this one's like an F1 one because it tilts you all the way back, and
That's
it like
cool.
elevates the pedals. Oh, that's cool. Red Bull Racing. But then you have to have your monitor like on the floor. Can't see a thing.
Yeah, so it is. They've got different prices. You got £25 per person, which is like $60.
For 20
Really?
minutes?
I don't know how much this one is,
Man, I'll just go build a go-kart track in my backyard.
but they've got £54 per person, which is it's about.
That's for 20 minutes.
How much is that? £54 a person.
Yeah, $70 maybe. 54 pound a dollar.
75, yeah,
Oh,
and that's for 30 minutes.
30 minutes. I should probably get a job before I go karting.
Yeah, 45-minute one is £74.
Mm.
You have 2 qualifying sessions and then a main event race.
Man, that sounds great though.
It is. It's really fun. It's like, even though it's a lot of money, it's something that's definitely worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's
No,
like,
I can. Yeah, I definitely would love to go sometime. I guess the wheel's great because you're like, 4 a.m. I'm gonna punch out some laps. But starting to get a little bit late, Biggs.
Yes, I know.
Zai's gonna kill me. So this next time we'll talk about. I don't know. We'll
We've got
find
2
out.
weeks.
2 weeks here, 2 weeks. Yeah. Maybe we'll have better topics next time. Try to get organized. I'll make a list. But as for now, thank you all for watching. I guess we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Stay fancy, my friends. We'll see you guys later.
Bye.